Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Gianna.
And welcome to the We Watch It All podcast,
where we watch it all and give you our opinions.
AKA the opinions no one ever asked for, but we're going to do it anyway. 17-7, season 17, episode 7. Oh no, boo, you didn't. Why do you look at me like that?
I'm just trying to process it all.
No, yeah, there
Trying
we
to
go.
remember the episode because we watched it when we first came out, but then we've been busy the last few days. So
It'll all come rushing right back to you.
I barely got what was going on when they were fighting at Nobu, so I don't even think it's gonna come back. It was a blur watching it. We did rewatch that scene like a few times because we were like, what the hell did she just say?
No, because it was a couple of the phrases were hard to understand, and you were like, wait, where is she going with these phrases? I will say I liked Tamara's outfit in that scene. It was a cute little pink short
They were dressed
jacket.
for Barbie.
Yeah, they were in a weird way.
A pink boat and everything.
Yeah, I don't know what... It was something about pink, though. I forget why Heather picked it, but yeah. So it starts with just Tamara speak of the devil and her son Ryan, who... It gets me every time when I see him looking like Cowboy Joe there. I mean, he looks very in his skin. God bless him. I hope he's happy with it, but it still, like, takes you back when you know that he was the...
had watched them so close together.
Recently, and it's just when it's you know that he has all these like tattoos, and it just doesn't seem like it's a left turn. But I guess it's finally the left turn that paid out for him, I guess. But they're talking about Bronx the dog, that she had, I guess, made up a little box for each one of the kids to have Bronx, and she told him she gave him the
derriere.
Yeah, the back end of the dog.
Don't curse. I don't need to keep marking these episodes as explicit,
woman.
woman.
Sorry. Okay, so
no
she
cursing.
gave him the back end of the doggy because she said he deserves it. I don't know. And then we quickly, that's that. They just bring up Bronx a little bit, and then we quickly head right over to Jen and Ryan, another Ryan, and they're paddling in boats. Okay, sure.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I mean,
black that one out.
But here's my thing: is like, why do we see this stuff? Like he was gonna tip her over or whatever, and then it goes right.
Okay,
and I know
I vaguely remember him wanting to tip her over.
Yeah,
but it clearly was not memorable to stick in my head.
No, but that's the thing. It's like I get it. They're trying to just do like blurb, 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 and then let's jump in. But like, I mean, do something that's gonna add to the show. Like, what is that adding?
Yeah,
I don't know if it's supposed to be adding couple time with
them.
At
least like Tamara's thing was like, you know, she had mentioned the dog.
Yeah, it was kind of continuing on
like,
and then giving us the little Ryan, you know, what do you call that little Ryan?
Scene blip, I don't know,
guest appearance, like that's what I was trying to think, or something. And then you go into Emily, who wants to have a party and talks about having an adult slip and slide, is what I took
guess
from
is
that.
This the wake party?
I don't know. I guess she was talking about having a party and having it at her mother-in-law's house because she has the pool and all like that. And she talks about... I think
this is the wake party then, because I feel like there was a pool in the back.
And she talks about having a adult slip and slide for, but somehow her daughter jumps in and says for an adult woman, I think is what she said or something.
Vaguely remember this.
I think an adult slip and slide would be just dandy, so that child should zip it.
It's just a tarp and some water.
And who wouldn't love to see those women go down a slip and slide?
I know.
I mean,
unless she means like one of those
melons
ahoy slide.
Down a slip and slide. Have you ever slammed down a slip and slide on the front as an adult?
No, I have not. I don't think I've probably been in a bathing suit since I was a child.
That might be why slip and slides are for children, because it's not the best. Not gonna lie.
You can attest to this, or you're just...
Yes, I've been on a slip and slide as an adult because you were a child, so I had to go down a slip and slide.
Are you talking about like an actual physical slide, or are you talking about like
slip and slide, like a slip and slide that we put on the grass? Yeah. Well, grass is hard. I mean, it may look soft.
Well, in our lumpy, bumpy old grass, there was potholes in the grass. Yeah. I went to the emergency room and got a sprained ankle from that damn grass. Like, it's serious.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
And I think I got a sprained finger too
from the grass.
Yes, no, I tripped.
Oh, and
me and my cousin Dean were playing football, and he kind of pushed me back, and I jammed my finger
the grass for running back and forth.
Yeah, no, but you know what? We did it.
Yeah, sure.
There was what was there? Hornets, wasps,
yeah,
baby birds on the side too. Yeah, it was a lot over there. It was probably a contaminated zone that we should not be playing in.
Probably.
Actually, that was the backyard.
No, the whole thing was probably... Anyway, digress to a boat now instead. And you see Shannon with John, and they're getting ready to get off the boat, and he's docking and giving her directions, and they're going to make dinner at his house. And she... I don't know what she's doing, but she goes to go in the refrigerator to help, and all she does is break things or drop things.
I don't think she was breaking it. It was just falling out.
No, I think she cracked whatever that one bottle was. Nothing was intentional, of course, but his refrigerator did look odd, I'm gonna say, because when she opened it, she said, like, this should be higher.
Yeah, it was only like an inch.
It was a tiny lid.
It almost looks like how ours is, but if you took the plastic coverings off. So maybe he was supposed to get, like the clear plastic thing. Maybe he was supposed to click it in and he just forgot, or
I don't know.
Something
looked weird. Something looked weird about it, and yeah, so he kept. I mean, I guess he manages.
Just more for the Shannon clumsy reel, pretty much.
I guess he's used to it maybe, and he doesn't swing it open. I don't know, but she was opening it with some force.
Yeah, you open a fridge with some force. I got to get in there. Where's my food?
Was,
somebody hand me a taco.
But it was like literally every time she opened that fridge, she dropped something
and closed
out of
it. You heard it.
And closed it. You heard stuff fall.
Because I think what was happening is when she'd close it, it would unsettle, and then she'd open it. And then that would fall out now on her.
Yeah, she was just a mess. But she's also talking about wanting another dog. And apparently she's got Archie, who we know is like the size of a human. And then he seemed like he had a fairly large dog, like a medium-sized dog, not like...
it was those dogs that people cut the ears and tails on.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. He was a Doberman Pinscher.
It was a big dog.
Well, no, he was a little smaller than the normal big ones. But it's still not a small dog by any means. It's, it's a substantial dog, because it was moving alongside of Archie, and it looked like not tiny it looked tiny next to him, but not tiny. But Archie's a big dog because he's a big golden. But he keeps talking to, and because I guess they're bringing this up because they're talking about kind of moving in together.
Yeah.
And she wants to. I don't know. I can't see that happening. And I mean, we know. I think they're broken up. It's already. I think
back together. I'm not really sure.
I don't know. At some point they break up. It's hard, but he doesn't even seem, while he's having this conversation, like he wants to be with her.
He doesn't seem interested in her yet.
I don't know. I don't think he ever really seemed interested in her.
She said something about looking for red flags in David, and it's like, girl, red flag is like he doesn't even care to listen to what you're saying half the time. Like he would she was saying, oh, I have a lot going on. He's like, well, yeah, sometimes I don't want to talk to you because you have like a lot going on. It's like, that seems like a red flag. I think we should wave that one a little bit higher for her to see, because it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when he first started with her, like, he seemed very accepting of all the things that she was, like, how kooky she was and all. Like, he seemed, like, I thought, oh, maybe she found, like, the right guy, because he did seem like he accepted all her kookiness, and he defended her when the girls would say stuff. Like, he'd say, oh, you don't deserve to have, like, them talk about, or it was just weird, but because now he just doesn't seem that way. So I don't know. Maybe it's too much.
I think Shannon needs a period of being single. Later in the episode, she said she always wants to be with somebody, but I think sometimes a little single Shannon for a little bit. Even if he's the one, then maybe you'll get back together. But
I don't know.
I think she just needs a second, because I think she needs to find herself on her own without her kids, and not try to do that and get with somebody at once. You're a little messy, Shannon, so just pull that together, girl.
Yeah, well, that's a lot. And then she worries about the daughter, because the daughter is has a boyfriend and is dating them, and they're very close, and she worries about her getting married. The other two girls are, I guess, going off to school next year. Yeah. And I don't know what was going on with them, because the oldest girl seemed like, I don't know, she's obviously only like, what, a year or two older than them, because it's probably 2 years now that she started school. Yeah. It's probably like her second year. I don't understand, because she seems like she's got all her crap together. The girl was writing a book and everything and all like this. She seems very intelligent. And these two, I don't understand. They're two twins. They share a brain, basically. Like, they seem like they are so far behind the 8 ball, and they even kind of stated it when they went out shopping with them, like, later in the episode. Like, they're supposed to be going to like college next year, or like this is their last year, and then they go to college, and they just don't seem like they got their stuff together. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, she keeps saying we need to get this counselor and this and this and this and this, and it's like,
yeah, I don't know what she's doing, but she keeps talking about all the stuff that she has to do, Shannon. I mean, if you have this many businesses, or your business is this busy, then you should be good when the kids go. Like, you now can really focus on you. I don't know why I don't know. She's going to mess this up, that's for sure. Oh, because she's going to get too upset. Well, no, I would have thought that when the first girl left, she would have really gotten crazy, but she seems to have pulled herself together.
Yeah, but you know what? It's different than Heather, because Heather lost 2.
Yeah.
But she still has 2.
Yeah.
She lost 1, and then she's going to lose 2 and have none now.
Well, that is the problem. She'll have...
And hers are really close, all her kids. Like, Heather still has, I think, a decent amount of time with the other 2 kids before they go off. And by the time they're done, the other kids will probably be coming back, the other 2 are not done. So, you're kind of set. Heather has a way better situation than this
in that respect, yeah. And then, speaking of Heather, they hop right on over to Tamara, Emily, and Heather. They went to a place to get their, I guess, like,
nails done.
Yeah, their toenails and pedicure and all like that.
Well, they weren't going to get their nails done because Heather and both Emily, if you look, they had, like, their nails, like, done, and they weren't even like grown out or anything. Like you could tell they had got their nails done, so their only option was to get the feet done without having to get, redoing their whole nails.
Oh yeah, but Heather even said something about wanting like a more of like heavy on the massage or something. Like,
yeah, she wanted a foot massage, really.
I want that too, Heather, but there we have it. But Heather was complaining about her back hurting from chopping the wood, and they were kind of making fun of her. And I think this is going to be their go-to storyline with My Poor Heather this season.
Oh yeah, this again. They walked in and they were.
She doesn't understand.
They've done this.
We all know who Heather is. She is living the good life. And look, if I went to live the good life, sure. I don't think she was ever poor. I think her family was okay, and so she always had a little bit of the finer things. Does she have the finest things now? Probably.
Yeah.
But I think I think she gets that. Like, there are people that work in the grocery store, the people that pump gas. I think she knows they're out there in the world. Yeah. I mean, but some of the stuff.
It's different than I think when you
do that. Well, that's the thing. If I went to a farm and I realized that there was somebody that was like mucking out like trailers daily for horses and chopping their own wood and stuff like that, because that's how things are done on that farm or whatever, would I be a little like shocked and like being like, damn, this like people do this all the time? Like,
because even just like
a little shocked.
Seeing it on the show, it's like one thing, but then I think even if we went to go experience it, you would have that like.
It's just like you're supposed.
It's just
because our everyday is like listen, like even with Crappy Lake, when you see the people there, they have a slower paced lifestyle than people that live in the city. Sometimes that's not a bad thing, but we have like stuff that's like at our disposal because we live in the city that say like suburban towns don't have, because it's you gotta drive further. So, like, when you realize that, like, the stuff that's so accessible to us is not as accessible to other people, and you may have to find a different way to do that, it is like crap. Look at them. Like, probably more intelligent.
Making it do.
Well, probably more intelligent than us, because they already figured out how to do it, and we have to have probably a machine do it for us or something. But I don't think this is the storyline to do with Heather.
I think they should. Boring.
I do too. I think they need to come with something else, because it's actually.
I feel like we've done this.
I think it's actually going to be like sad if they do this, because she's not rebelling against them. That's the downside. If you noticed, she's kind of like, oh, okay. Like, she, even when they like come at her with this in the chair, like Emily does try to like get like she speaks very honestly to her. Like, she's like, listen, you may not have thought that that's how it came across, but the way you talked to Taylor, it did come across like you were like, oh, your little role or your whatever. And I don't think she meant any of that. Like, I think she was just being very professional, and she was like, I'm not taking a script with me that I haven't been really truly offered, or I'm not like, I think she's thinking of it in a professional capacity.
But they're doing like the ganging up, where like how we say that's the best way. If you are having a housewife gang up on you, just sit there and take it, because you're always gonna like look like, then you will look like a victim, because it's like you're not even fighting back.
No, and that's what I think the problem is going to be. This is that I don't think she's really going to fight back on them at all,
because it is kind of something stupid.
Yeah, and I think she gets where they're going with it. And like Emily tried to explain it to her, because she tried to say like, I have a lot going on in my life. I have my 2 kids leaving, and everybody has something going on in their life. What my mother used to tell me was, don't think that your thing is smaller than anybody else's, and don't think that yours is bigger than anybody else's, because whatever you have going on in your life is the biggest thing in your life. That doesn't mean that someone else isn't going through something too, but that shouldn't diminish like what she's feeling. Just because she's rich doesn't mean she should have to be like, oh, but I'm so rich, so I'm okay that my kids are going off to college. Like, no, they genuinely seem brokenhearted. That, like she said, that we would at night we'd get together, we'd just have like chats or whatever. So I mean, she's the same way as anybody else, I feel, but she just has more money to speak of. That's the sad part.
Her difference sending a kid off to school was that she basically furnished the school compared to some other people. That's where it differs, is that it's like, what did you send
like
your kid?
She mentioned like how her garage was like trashed because she had so many things in there, and I just I don't honestly sometimes, and I guess that is not being self-aware. I guess she doesn't realize that some of the stuff, the way she says it, does sound like
she's flexing.
Yeah, and I don't think she is, because if she was, man, she could really flex, and she doesn't. So I don't know why.
I mean, let's not forget that original house she lived in.
Yeah, I mean, you never really saw it that much. You never saw her inside that real closet.
Screw that. The house she lives in now too is still.
No, but here's the thing. I've watched YouTube videos of her house, and she's done tours and stuff like that. There is more to that house than we've ever saw. More to that closet of hers than she's shown on here or shown to the girls. Like, I mean, she could have really been like, oh, look at my closet. Look at this. Look at that. I mean, I think she could have done it, but...
The best part, though, in this nail salon is the normal lady in the chair going,
yeah,
mouthing wildly.
Yeah, they see her in the distance.
I don't even know what you would, like, I guess normal people really
they're
play out
like
this
the fourth
season.
wall people. I feel like they're like they're over the wall people that are looking in.
I think that's what everybody likes, is to see like people react to them in public.
Well, like, because that's the thing. You're saying it's a reality show, but meanwhile, you're not showing the reality.
You're only in their little bubble.
You're only
what's going on at.
Yeah, like the girls that were cooking the food and stuff like that. Yeah, like, that was hilarious.
That's part of the stuff that is going on. It was just
part of, and like to have that lady in the chair, like seeing this going, like, what is going on over there, was kind of comical, but you know. And then they go right over to Jen's yoga studio, where, what?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said no. I was going to be like, I thought that's where we were.
No.
Where she's just constantly doing advertisement on top of advertisement. Now talk about somebody that is flexing.
Well, she does not want this to become Cut Studio.
Well, she's looking to get that free publicity up, down, and sideways on this show.
Imagine though walking to yoga class and your yoga instructor has like a Fendi yoga suit.
I mean,
I feel like,
here's what I'm saying.
But I feel like if she is wearing that, then prices of the class are probably a little pricey, so you probably know what you're walking into.
I don't know
though.
But she, is constantly talking about the yoga studio, constantly talking about her classes. I'm surprised she doesn't have a hat like Cut Fitness, but
it's probably on the way. It's probably
I don't know.
It's on order.
I was not surprised to see. I mean, listen, I know this is what's in her life, so I get it.
Yeah.
What else would you show except your business? But I mean, she really was talking it up.
She does name drop it quite a bit.
Yeah, and she talks.
Now that I'm thinking about it,
I mean, it was almost like a commercial watching her do the whole.
Is her tagline too?
Something about stronger mind or something. Yeah.
Oh, my core. Yeah. So her tagline too. It's just we don't have to hear it.
Yeah, so she does something about that.
Yeah.
And then they show Gina, she comes to bring like a candle to her yoga studio as
Jen's got a lot of candles to burn.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's nice. But Gina does yoga there, so how expensive could it be? Because no, I'm just saying she doesn't act like, she always talks about not having money like the other girls, so I don't know.
It's probably not that expensive, I guess. I always think less and then more people come, more money that way. I don't know.
I mean, either way, I guess if you can get them, I mean, but she also talks about, they start talking about how she, did she make up with Tamara, and that whole thing that it went like sideways and all, and she said she made up with Tamara, and Tamara said she was going to step up as her friend and I guess do better.
Yeah,
she does. I do like the style of fighting that this girl does. I will tell you that. I feel like she doesn't like gloss over it. Like she focuses right on the thing.
It's different than
it's definitely
like
different.
Housewives.
Like where she will call her right out on it and say no, but you.
It's more like normal people fighting.
Yeah, it's kind of I feel like it's
like she
the way
didn't
a
get the
normal
memo
person.
on how you're supposed to housewife fight.
Yeah, no.
So she's just going with how she would fight in real life. Basically,
she works like, I feel like it's like a work through real quick, like where it's like she fights with her, but before they end, it's not going to just end. Like she has to end it like where they're okay about it.
Yeah.
Like some kind of resolution has to happen, which these other girls don't. No, usually somebody storms out, walks off. Like, I mean,
which Tamara did try to do once we get to that point.
Yep,
but
she definitely did. So there you go. When they were talking about Tamara, it was really Jen. Like that's what I'm saying. Like Jen and Gina were saying. Like she said, I'm really glad that you shared with me how you feel about me and and the situation, because I do commend you for like owning that, and I understand. And they kind of worked through their whole feelings of stuff, and I think Gina realizes she got issues that she's got to work through. But it was like another scene that I was like, could I have done without it?
Yeah, could have been labeled never before
like,
scene.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like now that we have that,
I think it was just to introduce her yoga studio.
I think so too. That's what I'm saying. I think it was all about her yoga studio.
That yoga studio, the yoga studio outside episode in the very beginning too. But I guess it's like showing the actual place. I don't really know though. I don't know.
Because I mean, then after that, it's like here's my thing that has me a little rattled with this whole thing, is that when we heard all the promotions about OC, it acted like it was going to be like every episode was going to be like, oh, bang, zoom, bang,
yeah, over the top,
and these are not like, these are like, okay, that's
they're just
everyday
like,
scene.
There's nothing.
Like, and I get it. I mean, I get it, but like, there's nothing like.
But then it's not so.
Unless it is more towards the like when Vicky shows up. I don't know.
I don't know though, but it's like a weird like middle ground. Like it's not like oh, haha, fun, good
like, you
time,
feel like
crappy
it's gonna,
late.
Yeah, you feel like it's going to go somewhere, and then it's like,
not
nope,
like
it doesn't.
Kooky, absolutely fighting crazy all the way at the end, New Jersey.
Yeah.
But it's not like a good in the middle happy medium either. It's like, I don't know. It doesn't fall on there.
Yeah, I don't get it. Because then they just, like, they show Emily, like, again, like, she's making
that
food
scene
or
was
snacks.
weird, but
yeah, she's, like, making food. And, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, where Shane comes in, they start making fun of the poor dog with the cone of shame. Like, really now? Put a cone of shame on you, man. Like, leave the poor pet alone.
He said put a cone on Emily.
I know. I don't know. He's interacting a little bit more than he used to.
I think it's because he completed the bar now. I think he's happier. I really do.
Well, that's like a big. I think it's shameful, but I think he felt like embarrassed. Yeah, I think he felt embarrassed, and he knew she kept playing it up every freaking time.
Yeah, so
she really did, and that was not necessary.
No.
As your husband, you shouldn't do that.
I think he is. I think he feels like better about himself now, which is good. Good. Feel better about yourself, Shane. Then.
Yeah, because I think he's a little bit more pleasant to actually have on screen. Like, he's not as like jarring and like
he
angry.
Still makes like
yes, but
weird
they're not
jokes,
but they're not. They're just weird jokes. Like before, I felt like they were like weird and mean. They were. They're mean. A lot of them were mean. Yeah, they're not as mean because
they're like more sarcastic. Yeah, like like
they were talking about like Emily, and I guess her mom sent her a whole bunch of pictures, and she was kind of talking about her relationship with her mom, and she said that her mom would cut her hair short so that they wouldn't have to wash it instead of just washing the hair. They cut it short to keep it so you wouldn't have to wash it. Which, I mean, yeah, I could see that. But she also kind of slipped in there that she became an attorney kind of because of her grandfather was an attorney. So I guess that's where that kind of came from. Although I don't really see her wanting to be an attorney anymore. Like, I don't see her talking about it or doing anything about it. I guess she is supposed to stay on with the kids now that Shane is taking over the reins. I don't know.
Who the hell knows what she's doing? One day she's party planning. One day she's attorneying. Next day, she just wants a damn taco. In the end, she just wants a damn taco.
Apparently,
that's pretty much it. But here we go again. Another repeat storyline. Her and this mom. Mother.
I mean,
it really is a lot of like repeat storylines, but not like in a good way where it's like playing on nostalgia. Like, ooh, that was a good storyline. I would love to relive it.
Like
it's
this
not.
again.
It's like it's Shannon and Tamara. Then it's those two against Heather.
It's her and her mother.
And now people are ganging up on Heather, and now it's her and her mom. Like, I don't know. And even not Emily, wrong one, Gina. Even her, like, you're going back to her and her, like, cheating.
Yeah, and the husband, like, she's revising really this cheating thing that I'm like, come on, you got nothing else.
Like, when you really think about it, it's like,
I feel like
I'd rather just watch the original versions.
Yeah, I feel like they're revisiting it because, I mean, I understand this whole thing between her and her mom, Emily, like, might not have been resolved, and it didn't seem like it was at the end of last season, but, like, I don't know, it's just, at least, like, Shane, like, that's what I'm saying, like, he's like, why don't you just invite her here to come see the kids, or, to come stay, so, like, I mean, he's being nicer in that respect and, like, trying to be more supportive, but he's just acting normal, which is weird. I'm just sorry.
Throwing you off. Yeah,
it's throwing me off. And then she does go upstairs and, like, kind of sits off to herself and on the phone and invites her mom. And they have a nice moment and all like that, talking about the pictures, and she wants her to get to know the kids. And I don't know, it's just, she makes her mom sound like she's crazy. But yet, when you hear her on the phone and all like that, seems very normal, the mom.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't get what's going on there. I don't know. It's just bizarre. But now, speaking about other moms and kids, you got Shannon, which this is another scene I just didn't understand. So she's got the kids out shopping, the two twins, and they're back from Paris with the dad. Yeah. And apparently they're supposed to be, I guess they're going like school shopping or something.
I guess they're starting their senior. Yeah, they're starting their senior year. So they should be graduated by now, and they should be in school.
Yeah, technically.
They should be going to college. So we should be able to figure out where they went.
So apparently they were talking, like, she's still taking them shopping, even though they were talking about they did so much shopping in Paris.
Because here's my thing.
So I'm like, okay, well, if you did all that shopping in Paris, do you really need to be here again? If you're just saying that these kids just bought all these clothes, like, what could they want? Like, I don't know. And then she starts talking about hiring the college counselor to help them, like, create a unique application or something like that. And they're talking about how they're already so far behind. And I'm like,
it's the beginning of your senior year, are you really that far?
Yes. Oh. Actually, remember I told you the junior year grades are the grades that all the colleges look at. You should kind of already have an idea of what you're doing by senior year.
I guess, yeah.
Because you find out in senior year who you've applied. That's what they were saying. That you apply.
I can't remember, you guys. I
and
blacked out in high school.
Yeah, remember Dean he was applying and then he found, because they used the junior year grades and everything.
Yes, you do early admissions and stuff. That's the big.
So they are a little bit behind, but I mean nothing that you can't pull it together. I don't know that a college counselor is, or whatever, an outside college counselor is going to do anything about it. But
this person they're just basically hiring to write the application.
I just think it's a waste. Yeah, I mean, and that's something they're supposed to do. FYI, you're not supposed to.
Yeah, like how are they supposed to write a story on your behalf? I don't know. I guess maybe they were gonna proofread.
But didn't she end up in the end
4,000, 3,000, 4,000?
But it was a purse they bought, and
it was only 3 things.
Yeah, it was a purse. The purse was the big item.
This was also a secondhand store, so it was 100% gassed off is the word. So when you buy your clothes, the chemicals that are in the clothes, she said, other people wear them, take the chemicals off of the clothes. So then you don't have those original chemicals. I
guess they wear off after a while.
All my clothes are gassed off. Maybe.
I guess from washing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to. When I do get a new wardrobe, I will definitely be doing secondhand clothes.
Thrifted.
But I would like to do better secondhand clothes. I would like to do consignment shops or something. Just because, or that thread up, or just I don't know, something better where it's not as more quality pieces that I know are gonna stand the test of time. Kind of like what she's trying to do.
Girl, how long have I had this t-shirt that I'm wearing right now? It is standing the test of time. I wear my shirts till they got holes in them. This one has
when you have a real job, you can't really wear a t-shirt.
Okay,
always.
Well, I'm just saying the t-shirt is withstanding. So, sorry.
So then I think, was Emily on the phone with Gina when they were discussing getting ready or something for Heather's thing, and they were discussing Heather and their fight?
Yeah, I think they were FaceTiming each other. Yeah. I think so.
I get distracted by Gina's orange eyeshadow and clothes always. I mean, it's just...
There was somebody in another sit-down in this one that had an outfit that I was like, oh, was it Tamara?
I don't know.
The pink outfit Tamara had. Remember, because we said her boob was being pulled.
Oh, yes.
I think that's what I was
something
thinking.
Something weird with her boob looks weird.
I think they taped it in wrong or something.
Yeah, it definitely looked odd.
I don't know. It threw me. I think that's what I was thinking about. But no, that Gina look is still. It is a little.
It's the top one. It's the top one. Ooh. I just don't know what to think. It's like an Erica Jane. Some of the Erica Jane ones that she used to do that were what the hell are we doing?
It's just it's a lot of color.
It's a lot.
You know what I think it is too?
It's a lot of neon orange.
It's not like she's in some glamorous setting either. It's I think the backdrop's her kitchen.
Yeah.
So it's it doesn't really.
I know, the whole thing.
It doesn't really the vibe isn't fitting there. I think as well. I think the backdrop is also whoop.
Yeah, no. And then Heather invited them on this little boat. I don't really. She called it something.
I don't really know.
It was some kind of little boat that
was basically just gonna take them up to the.
I think it takes. Well, yeah, I think it was your way to get up to the Nobu or something. But in the meanwhile, you can have drinks on it and stuff, and it was pink and very frilly, girly stuff. And so Heather arrives at the boat first, of course, because she's running it, so she's not going to not show. Yeah, and then of course Taylor shows up, and she's the first one to show up. So they get to sit down and they talk a little bit, and they make up, and she kind of says, so see, here's the thing. It's I feel like she heard what Emily and them were trying to say, and she said to her, if what I said, made you feel bad. She goes, that was not my intention. That was not what I was looking to do. And I understand how you might have felt. So, and then they squash it and move on, which is weird because that's what I feel like a lot of the fights are becoming. And I have a feeling that's the only reason Tamara's there, because Tamara will not let the fights go. Yeah. So I think she's the one that's going to hold on to everything or make everything or
into... be do you remember, are you really over this? That classic. Yeah.
So, I mean, Heather's basically hoping that they make it to the entree this time because it is Nobu, and, who wants to pay for another bill that is insane once again. But she's just going to keep inviting these girls to Nobu to see how far they can get.
Well, I guess after this dinner, the third time will be the charm, because, last time they didn't eat at all. This time they did fight, but they kind of, took a minute, but they did eat.
I think they made it to the entree.
They did eat. So maybe next time they could,
all the way to dessert.
And not even get up. The seats. Maybe that would be it. Yeah, I don't know. Third time's a charm. I really, I mean, if that's, it seems like that's the progression here. Or maybe they will fight, but nobody will leave, and you could kind of just eat through the fight.
I guess. I don't know. But then Shanna and Tamara show up, and the new girl, Lauren, who we were trying to figure out who the heck she was this whole time. She was in that one scene, and she was in the thumbnail and all. They show up. Lauren is the acting coach that she got for Taylor, and they So they brought her along. We were just trying to figure out who the heck she was this whole time, and didn't even realize that we did see her in that acting scene. Didn't put two and two together, but So then Emily and Gina arrive, and then Jen finally shows up last.
Yeah, which all these girls...
Which I didn't even notice her show up. She just was on the boat then.
All these girls come in these high heels.
I don't understand
Do they not know they're going to a boat?
You're going on a boat. Like there has to be a dock. Like, even if you bore them on the boat, like, getting down the dock is going to be an issue. But, hey,
like,
okay.
no one thinks of that, like, ever, apparently. Like, I know this was a smaller boat than the other one, but it seemed like, it was more the issue of getting to the boat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the docks docks are typically, like... They have like a little
slope.
Well, not even
wobbly.
So much. Yeah, they tend to have like a little movement to them so that they don't.
And then you had to get in this little boat. I'm sure they didn't know what kind of little boat they were getting in, but and most of them were not even getting to the boat.
Heather spilled champs in Tamara's lap once again. So
at that point we need to cut them off from boats. If I see another boat.
Yeah, this is the second spillage in the crotch. So Shannon announces that today was the day that she got married to David, which we later find out that he also filed for divorce.
He's keeping
on the same
it nice
day.
and organized.
He's
now.
trying to keep his dates together.
All his dates together.
Yeah, that's what I did. I got married on one day and got divorced on the next day. Not literally, but 15 years apart. Try to keep
smart.
Try to keep it simple.
Because then it's like you can just think about it all in one weekend, and then you don't even have to worry about it. He could be like, "Oh, remember?"
Done so.
Now he could be like, "Oh, remember when I got married? Oh, remember when I got divorced?" Mm-hmm. Like, it would be even perfect if he divorced Shannon the same day he married that girl too. Like, it was just like
I don't know when that happened, but
that would be pretty. I mean, that would work out even better. So if he looks for somebody else, try to line up those dates again.
And then Emily announces that she is having the pool party next week. But you said something about a wig. Why do I not know about this wig? What are we talking about? Wigs?
I'm talking about the wig that's in the trailer. You know when they're at the party and they all have wigs on?
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm thinking is this pool party. Like, I don't know.
Why would they wear wigs at a pool party, though? That's a little odd.
Is it really for OC, though?
I don't know. I don't know.
They could just find a container of wigs and put them on. Like, that is very OC to just, like, be like, oh my God.
That's true.
What is this container of wigs? And everybody has a wig on now. Like, that's OC at its, like, core.
That's true. No, true. I hear you. So they do arrive at Nobu, and I mean, it seemed like they were on that boat for a little stint of time, because they were having several little conversations here and there. But when they go to dock, holy mackerel. I mean, they slammed into that dock.
Oh my God,
right?
yeah.
Like, and it was, because I thought that was on accident. I mean, I thought that was on, like, accident, but I don't think it was. I think that's how they dock or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think, like, the guy grabbed them, and maybe he, like, pulled it, like, a wave came with it.
I don't know what happened, but everybody was thrown off guard with that.
I've said this before. Don't do bodies of water, big bodies of water, boats. Don't want to do that.
Not the Housewives, anyway.
Well, oh, God, no.
All right, so they arrive at Nobu, and Heather, in typical Heather fashion, which is, look, this is the funny thing. I feel like if Heather didn't have money, she would still do stuff like this, to a certain extent. Like, would the chopsticks be engraved? Perhaps not. But would she have rhinestone them or something, like with their initials? Or would they have done something? Yeah. I think she would have done...
At least just the candle.
I think it's... Yeah, well, I think for her, I think it's the gesture. I don't think... yes, can she afford to...
She likes... performing acts of service.
Yeah, and she likes attention to detail and stuff like that. So, I mean, do I think she would do something that would have had their names on it? Yeah. I mean, engraving it and having candles that have, like, their names, maybe not quite that, but I think she still would have done something to personalize it, is what I'm trying to say, because she likes that stuff. But I don't think that has anything to do with being rich. I just think it's the level that she can do it at. My
question is, does she have, like, a yearly budget for gift giving?
I think she probably did.
Like, party planning.
I think she does.
I wonder if, like, when the bros sit down for the year and he goes, Heather, we have about a couple thousand that you can spend this year on this. This is what we're looking at. And,
I think she has
wonder
something.
if she does have that. I wonder if she could write this off on her taxes because it's for the show.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting thought. Just thinking thoughts here. Yeah. I don't know. It was just something I thought about. I was like, she must have some kind of budget. If we think she already has the gift room with the personalized Heather Dubrow bags, I'm going to assume she probably has a gifting budget to go along with it.
Yeah. But see, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, so she gave them these candles that were inscribed with the saying, too fab to shovel.
Yeah.
S-H-I-T. So...
Wait, no, the chopsticks were inscribed with that.
Their names.
Oh, with their names.
The candle was inscribed with...
Oh.
Yeah, no, the chopsticks were engraved with their names. The candle had, like, an inscription on it that said, like...
And it was a Tom Ford candle, too.
Yeah,
right?
it said, too fab to shovel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, she was just, I think it was like the intention. I don't see what's wrong with the intention.
Yeah.
But the way she did it, yes, it was over the top. But would you expect that from Heather? Like, I wouldn't expect
towel warmer next to the shower.
Yeah,
like, come on now.
So they all end up sitting down, start discussing the Montana trip and like what Emily missed, because she's like, oh, what did I miss? And here they go, they're coming for Heather again.
Yeah.
Like, she just and
I wonder if Emily was like, I was hoping for something else. I did already cover this in like the pedicure. Imagine she did that. She was like, oh, really? We're back on this. Her and Tamara all talked about this when we were getting pedicures. Anything else happen? Like anything?
Yeah,
I heard you guys maybe got high or something. You want to tell me about that?
I don't know. Yeah, like, well, she could. I mean, honestly, they could have done something like that, but no, they do start on
or
that
like
again.
Or like the fact that Shannon dressed up in the outfit like that
like,
one night.
You would think
like,
they would
always go negative.
Yeah, exactly. Always negative. And then you have somehow Tamara starts getting into Jen. And I guess they started talking about how all the stuff came out about Jen and...
Oh, because I think they go through the fights. They talk about Heather and Taylor, and then they talk about Gina and Jen.
And how that
I think
fight
that's where
turned
Tamara
into like that
starts
whole
to,
thing. And then... Heather's telling her to be honest. And, I mean, this was what we were saying in the beginning. It was, like, the weirdest kind of fight because you
could even see Gina's face in that scene. Like, she was, like, trying to figure it out.
What
and, like,
this,
Gina is, like, essentially a part of the group. Like, that other girl, the acting coach, oh, my goodness. That poor girl looked like she was
really trying to figure it out.
She was so lost and confused. I really think she had no clue what she was... I think she thought she was coming for a nice dinner to meet rest of Heather's friends, talk to Taylor a little bit... And this poor girl got thrown in the deep end, and she had to sit next to Tamara too. Like, they always throw them next to the
In all
kooky
honesty,
one.
though, like, I do listen. Jen is new to the group too, and I do feel bad that, like, for whatever reason, like, Tamara does feel like comfortable just sharing all her business right off the bat. Like, and there's nothing she can do about it because Tamara just keeps spewing it out. I mean, and that's what I think her problem is, because Tamara said she was going to step up and represent as her friend and do better, and like, you got Tamara telling her to be honest, and she's like, well, what do you want me to be honest about? I can be honest. And they were talking about that night that they had the party, and one of Ryan's friend had a party or something like that, and that friend told Eddie to watch out for his wife or something like that.
Hiking, last
week. She brought that up again, and she said something like, oh, you want me to be honest? She's like,
this is her new favorite thing. You want me to be honest?
Yeah, she's like, we were on the phone that night, and I do think there's stuff that Tamara's probably leaving out, and she was
probably.
I think she
Tamara is a little selective.
Oh
with
yeah,
her memory.
we've already seen that she does selective stuff.
Hello, that little college brat that we were talking about earlier. Dean started texting us back. Very distractive.
Yeah, so I do think that she leaves some stuff out, Tamara.
Yeah.
And she only mentions certain things. And I think for poor Jen, it is sad because these girls, she didn't even have, like, her own ability to share what she wanted to share. Yeah. Or, like, I'm not saying she was going to not tell her story, but she had no choice but, like, first day out in the gate, like, Tamara was already sharing her story with them. So she had no choice but to basically say it, like, which kind of sucks, but yeah, she had no choice. And
even if she wanted to give like her own version of it,
just for now,
she couldn't even do
because
that
she kept and she keeps doing it. Like, on top of it, she keeps telling other people more and more stuff about it that, like, sadly Jen doesn't even realize she's putting out there, which is what's really bad. I mean, they keep talking about how the husband is this, like, man whore and stuff, and I mean, I don't know, but I mean, then you got Emily chiming in saying, yeah, I kind of heard that around town, and actually Heather kind of looked like she was nodding in agreements, but I don't know if she was. But I mean, Tamara mentions that party again, and Jen's like, watch yourself, because, like, that's the worst thing to tell Tamara is to, like, check herself or something like that, because she goes nuts. And she was like, what are you talking about? Watch myself? Why are you telling me to watch myself? As if, like, she's not telling the whole story. And then, of course, we find out when she does leave the table, Jen starts divulging that, yeah, we had a whole conversation, and she also alluded to, because they kept saying to her, just say whatever you're going to say because you keep alluding to it. And she's like, well, she basically also said that Ryan was, like, cute. But see, like, here's the thing. It's like, she kind of alluded to the fact that the boyfriend was hot. That doesn't mean she's going to cheat on him.
Yeah.
On Eddie just because she made that comment. I just, but...
That is different than what the guy was saying.
Yeah, what the guy was saying. That is a little bit different. But, of course...
But Tamara does say that about guys, that we've seen her say that. She flirted with the, bereft guy, right, for a second, so she found out he was underage.
Yeah.
So not underage, but younger than her. So it was like, that's
but like
just...
Tamara does like the weirdest stuff though. Like she throws her napkin at her. Like I'm like, what is that? Like, better than a glassware. I get it, but like I just don't see what like that's like. You're not 12. Like put the napkin down, and then she runs. She basically storms off, and of course Shannon, tries to go.
You know what, Taylor too, and I think that's funny that like the like OGs of a sense both knew like we got to go bring her back.
Yeah.
Like, because you saw, like, Taylor does stand up. I don't know if it was to let Shannon out or whatever.
I think so, because I don't think she left, though.
No, Taylor didn't leave, but she was going to, and then, like, Shannon ended up going. But I just thought that was, like, I was like, interesting that, like, they would understand it a little bit more, like, go get her.
Tamara's just so heated that, like, you can't even, like, talk to her. And the poor new girl, Lauren was her name? She's, like, trying to be like, is this like this all the time? Like, she's just trying to figure this out. And I'm like, girl, don't even.
Like, do you guys have a time on how long it takes or so that we could start eating?
Yeah, like, she was just like...
She's like, is it best that we should just tell them to put the food in a to-go box now when we go? Or, like, what's the situation here?
I don't know. She would basically said when Tamara left, like, that there was a lot of joking about Ryan between the two of them when they were on the phone, and that I think it's this other girl,
Heather,
that is probably causing a lot of the problem, or caused a lot of the problems, because she still doesn't believe what Tamara is saying. She doesn't believe that, like, he said this kind of stuff, but, like, other people are saying that, yes, they have heard it, and that, I don't know, I guess they want her to listen to it. I don't know. Look, at this point, this girl's been with this guy for a while now. I mean, like, if you're cool with it, then I don't know why anybody's butting in. But you got Tamara and Shannon over at the bar taking shots, hitting on the guy next to them. I just, and, like, Shannon's like, are you married or something? And I think the guy said yes, and Tamara's like, and she's telling Tamara, like, stop, you can't say certain things to, like, people like this. I'm like, when did Shannon become such, like, a...
No, Tamara was telling him to, like, go out and, like, find somebody. Yeah. And she's like, well, are you married?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, just like, you probably shouldn't be telling him that.
Yeah, no. I was waiting to see, like, okay, were they going to come back? Because I'm like, what else? Where is this going to go? But then all of a sudden you get back to the table. She's not there yet. But then you have, like, Emily, once again, like, starting in on Heather, calling her out, saying that she has a phony relationship with Tamara.
Yeah, it was like, they picked, like, a bunch of different things to go after Heather for. And I was like, oh my God, like, here we go.
What? I'm like, now there's a whole fight. But then Gina starts finding the opening to start going at, like, Heather about, different, like, the topics.
Though, like, now it's like what Heather just tried to talk about with Tamara and Shannon last week is now, like, Gina's like, oh, well, you and Tamara.
Yeah.
It's like, huh?
I don't know. Like, yeah, so, like, she's coming at her, and Gina had a crazy eye moment. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, yeah.
She had, like, these crazy eyes that she was, like, when she was getting into the stuff with Heather. I think, though, Heather is handling all the information they're giving to her. Instead of getting hostile and upset, she's just like, okay, and then she repeats it back, and she's like, listen, I hear you, I understand what you're saying, that was not how any of my stuff was intended, I probably overstep, and I probably shouldn't have. A lot of, they have to remember too, a lot of stuff that's said could be when a person has been drinking, and someone's always freer with their mouth when they're drinking. Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of the stuff, like, is probably, like, coming out at those times, but they're flashing back and forth between this weird fight that's starting, that Emily started and Gina started, and picking on Hammer. That would be Tamara and Heather together. And then you got Tamara, who, like, says that she's not going back to the table, and then all of a sudden you see her come back to the table, and she just starts eating. Did you see her? She just picked up food and started eating right away. And the worst part is she's mouthing something to Jennifer, like, to Jen. She's like whispering to her, like, I'm livid at you, or like, I'm something. Like,
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, because that's the thing, is like they were going back and forth between this fight with, like I felt like they didn't want to take the camera off Gina and Heather because they were having this fight, and
and, like, Tamara came back
came back, like, too soon, almost like where that wasn't quite resolved. And then you have her whispering to Jen, like, as she starts eating, like, in between with the food in her mouth, she's like whispering to her, like, I'm livid at you. And then she, of course, is trying to get involved, like, to say, like, well, like, what's going on down there. But you can clearly see Tamara is drunk again, and this is just like the boat with Shannon. Like, when she gets too drunk.
Well, because in almost every episode so far, she's like, oh, I've already been taking shots. Everybody needs to catch up. And it's like, not the best idea, because I feel like that was her downfall in her last season too. It was like she was taking shots and she was like missing, like, you know, now you're gonna miss information. You gotta, that detective notebook is just all scribbles in there now, because all her information is just,
she's gotta stop.
A mess.
But like weirdly, and like Gina and like Heather kind of make up, but like in the middle of it, like Heather starts with like saying, like, Terry texted about David filing for the divorce or something like that. Yeah. And like she like says to Shannon, like, she's like, there's something I have to tell you, but I don't know if you want me to tell me now or something. And she's like, she says it, and I guess she knew, I think Shannon knew that David had filed or whatever. Somebody told her.
Or he was going to or something.
Yeah, I forget who she said told her. But she said that she knew. Shannon, you know, excuses herself to go call. I think it's
never
like the
before
oldest.
Seen.
Yeah, I think she calls the oldest daughter, and which is funny though, because she tells the oldest daughter, like, you should call your dad because this has got to be really hard on him, and like the daughter's like, no, I don't want to. And she's like, I'm just gonna let it. You know, I'm gonna just give him his space or whatever, and which I think is like kind of weird too. Like, what are you gonna call your father and say, like, sorry you're getting divorced?
At least like text,
I don't know, just like thinking of your dad, I guess. But I mean, I'm sure that's what she was planning on doing. Like in the end, was just, you know, going to do that. Oddly enough, Taylor, out of everybody, is the one asking about food.
I know.
Saying,
I didn't even notice
when
that.
are we going to have dinner and like actually get some food? Like, can we make it to the dinner? Like, I was shocked.
Well, you know what I thought about,
and
when
I know
she
that's
said
stereotypical because she's the skinny girl, but like you never really saw her eat in the past.
You never really have anybody ever address these things, so I was grateful for that. But she is from the early episodes of Beverly Hills, where like you weren't like throwing down like this.
Nobody was eating.
No, but you would make it to a meal at least, I think, in the past. Maybe.
A lot of these housewives don't ever make it to meals.
I don't know, but I feel like she might be, you know, have that at least for after they fight, they might eat. But like, you know, some of these housewives don't even make it to the meal. It's like, why'd you put the order in, girls? Like, I do wonder, like, do they put it into go containers? Do they give that food to the crew? Like,
maybe,
what do they do
I don't
with
know.
the food?
It is weird.
Or do they like say, okay, everybody just zip it, just eat your food. We're shutting the cameras off.
Like, maybe they say if you want your food,
or like they
quiet.
Take them all to like single tables and like they make them all eat separately. I don't know.
Could be.
I am curious about like when they don't, or do they go like, do they just have them take orders and tell people don't put that in?
I don't know.
Like I wonder, like
interesting.
I don't know. That's something I want to know.
Speaking of food, I could go for some Tostitos and salsa. How about those chips? You know.
Oh my god. You know, I want Portuguese food.
No. Portuguese food to you is just French fries
and rice. I would love the rice aspect of it.
I could try, but you know.
And then maybe a little chocolate mousse for dessert. And I forgot what the other thing's called that too, but
the Saradu.
Yeah.
I was able to make that vegan.
Yeah, the mousse was good when we made it with dates, but now we're just tailoring over here, wondering where the food is.
I'm wondering who's bringing it over, man. All the dishes are cleaned on the counter.
Get in here, Shannon. Let's go.
Yeah, Shannon apparently cooks. I should say our kitchen's too small.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for listening or watching. We'll be back next week.
Because I told you it would all come back to you.
It's still a little blurrish. Because it was just like, it was so much going on that it really went from like boring, boom, here it all is at this dinner. And it's like, I can't handle that.
I'm hoping based on that dinner, it's going to start picking up.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it will. So we'll see.
Every Monday we do our OC, and now we have on Wednesdays we're doing the Real Housewives of New York. Our first episode went up last week, so make sure you go check it out. And then
get your charcuterie board when you're eating.
And then every Thursday we are doing Crappy Lake. We're already going to be on episode 4 this upcoming week. I don't even know how many there are, but I feel like sadly, I don't know. I feel like they're not going to be too many, but.
I know, it's so sad.
But that's all for this week. Hopefully you'll leave us a good rating. And if you're on YouTube, you give us a thumbs up, not a thumbs down. Instead, leave a comment telling us how we can improve. Make sure you subscribe and follow and turn on notifications so you don't miss any episodes. And that's all for this week.
Yeah.
Oh, and check out our other podcast. We talk about it all. We somehow accidentally took 2 weeks off instead of, or is it 3 weeks? I don't know.
2, maybe 3. I don't know.
Life has been crazy, so we'll update you then.
Yeah, once we're done this, we're getting our schedule together and organizing. And
I need a shower. I need to cleanse off from this past week. Okay. It's been over 24 hours since I've been in a movie theater. I still have movie theater gunk all over me. I gotta get it off.
Good God. All right. Well, then you better hit the button so you can go de-gunk.